Hello everyone. So just give me a second. What happened? Can you guys hear me? Just checking if for some reason I'm not able to see the yeah, perfect. So can I just confirm if things are good from my side, audio, video, and the presentation, so that I can just start in a minute or so. Am I audible? Not. That's a very important question. Can you guys hear me? I think yes. Perfect. Thank you. It helps me if you can confirm a bit, so that I know things are good from my side and I can start the session. So just an introduction before I start, maybe let's start in a minute or two. Some more people will join. Just a liner about which country are you planning to go and what do you plan to pursue higher studies wise, right? Masters or PhD or masters in some specialization. Just drop a liner, right? I know that the audience that I have. So I'm hoping that, see, I will definitely make it a very useful session for next 40-45 minutes if you are seriously interested in GRE or general study abroad, domain, but it will help me and help you also if you can drop a simple introduction so that I know the people that are sitting and what might be more sensible for you or what might be a little bit more personalized uh, input that can be given. Just put something in the chat so that it makes a bit more engaging and also more useful for all of us. Right? I don't want you to feel bored, or neither myself. Perfect. Thank you, Chandrasekhar. Thanks for starting it. Nisar, I will definitely try to do that. If by chance, if I speak a bit faster, do drop a message. I'll definitely look at it and I'll slow down. So I do have an issue with that I speak a little bit faster. So I'll be a little bit conscious because you have asked me right at the start. But by chance, if I still go fast, which can happen when I get into something deeper, but drop a message. Don't worry, I'll definitely do it slow. So you completed your BE and want to pursue masters in US, Chandrasekhar. Great, thank you. What about others? What have you done or what are you planning to do? Where do you want to go? Because the first part of the session is an area where I want to clarify whether a student needs to take GRE or not, depending on what's their goal, which country are they looking at, and all. So it helps me to understand the audience I have, so that I can focus on a little bit of those elements as well. Okay. Or at least to give me some energy, just put something, right? Thank you, Nisarg. It does matter, Ramasray, a bit, but does it, or is it the only thing? Not really. Right? There are so many other things. That's where the GRE and other elements in your profile come into picture. Nisarg, B in electrical engineering. So I'll talk about that, Ramasray, about what other things matter and how they can be boosted to help you and increase your chances. Masters in Canada, okay. Third year, I want to go abroad for further studies after completion of fourth year. Great, Pranita. Great. Let's start the session. So, a brief introduction about myself. So, I am one of the founders of this company, GTQ. So, we are an tech company trying to help students in various things like study abroad, being test prep, like CAT and other stuff. Also work on your skills so that you can get good jobs within India, etc. So I've done my engineering from BITS Pilani and then MBA from IIM. So I worked for a couple of years. I quit my own job to start this company along with my friends, my batchmates, who are also passionate about education. So we have cracked some of these exams, like you can clearly see. Just give me a second. It's something I need to sort of. Yeah. Perfect. Right. You can see ourselves cracking these exams, and we have been helping students over the last few years in the training part. What happened? Just give me a second again. Okay, great. So what are we going to do in today's session, right? So I will spend almost 45 minutes. I'll keep it that way, where I'm going to answer these questions, and then I'll keep it open for your queries, right? Specific queries, be it on GRE, GMAT, IELTS, TOEFL, study in a particular country, right? Which universities, programs, are your interest, and all of that. If there's something I know and I can help you out with, I'll definitely take it up at the end. Right, but other than that, I would definitely want to keep it a little bit specific to the agenda that I've promised to cover. So, by chance, if I have any question, you post it. If I find it to be relevant, then and there I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'll definitely take it up at the end. All it takes is a little bit of patience. I promise that I will not end the session without answering your questions. So, first and foremost, we get into clarifying this. How do I figure out this answer? Should I take GRE or not? Then comes the exam pattern, the scoring system, and how do I prepare for it, right? What are the materials or what all should I look at? How do I improve my basics and work on it? So that's how we'll go into it. So let's start the session, right? The first and foremost thing, why should a student take GRE? It's simple because universities ask for it. Okay, why do universities ask for it? Because they want to measure ability of a student, right? Different countries, different people apply, so they just want to measure the individual abilities of students. So that's why they do go with this logic of using a test, which is basically the GRE. But fact is that GRE is not a requirement for every university in the world. It is not a case that you need to take GRE for all the universities and all the countries. So I'll first talk on the countries level, a very basic rule of thumb. Then I'll go into the university level with a couple of examples. So the thing is, I'll spend 5 to 7 minutes on it. It's not that you will get an answer immediately, but you will know how to figure out an answer for your own profile. That should I take GRE? Should I do this? Should I do not? Right. So for USA, if you're planning to go for your master's or PhD to USA, I would say you should be taking GRE. Most probably, unless you're coming from or applying for some arts courses or some limited courses, generally any decent university with especially like a STEM program, engineering, maths, science, technology, psychology, right? To some extent, even the literature program, some of the arts programs, some of the universities do ask for GRE as a requirement. You need to take it. Then you also need to take an English language proficiency test, which is to prove your English skill set, which are basically like TOEFL, IELTS, right? These are the exams you need to take. And people ask me, sir, should I take GRE or TOEFL? No, you should take both. It's mandatory that you take both. It's not one can replace the other because this will give them a confidence on your English skills. This will give them a confidence on your analytical ability. They are two different things. Okay. Next comes country like Canada. Leaving a couple of top universities which have started in the recent times, most of the Canadian universities do not need you to take GRE. Okay, so if you are only looking at Canada, unless as I said, you are very specific about the top two universities, and then I'll show you how you will figure out whether you need to take or not at a university level. As I told you, don't worry. But otherwise, in a generic rule of thumb, I'll tell you if you are going only for Canada as a target, you don't need to take GRE, but you need to focus a lot on your IELTS exam because that's one of the most important criteria. You need to write a very good score in that. Then comes UK. Same story, leaving like top Cambridge, Oxford, certain programs I've seen where they ask for GRE. Leaving that, most of the universities don't ask for GRE. All you need to do is to prove with your IELTS score, submit with IELTS score. Then comes Germany. There's another country which is in craze right now. I would recommend top universities or good universities or rather public universities. Why do people go for Germany? Because public universities are free or very low cost. Basically, you will save a lot of money if you go to German universities, but it has to be public universities, not private universities. They charge you pretty much same as compared to other countries. So for that, I would say GRE is pretty much a requirement. Even if some people would not put as a mandatory, they will tell you that you can submit your score and we will look at your profile with that score. So keeping that in mind, I would strongly say you should definitely try to, you know, take it. Boost your profile a lot. If you're looking at good universities in Germany, GRE is a very strong recommendation from my side. Then you should also take IELTS as an exam. Both of them are strongly recommended. Then comes Australia. Again, GRE is not required for Australia. You need to take IELTS or PT. There are other English exams. You should take one of these two to prove your English proficiency. So this is the basic rule of thumb on a country level. Okay, that is, I am telling you, if you're going to US, I would say 90-95% of chance that you need to take GRE for universities you want to apply to. For Germany, top universities, public universities, if that's what your goal is, then definitely you should go ahead and take the GRE exam. That's a strong recommendation from my side. Okay. Uh, every country would need this. Definitely, you need to take TOEFL or IELTS, right? PT, TOEFL, IELTS. Again, depends. IELTS is the most widely accepted, so that's why people take a lot. That's the reason why most taken exam is IELTS. But again, depending on choices, you can choose it. So how do I know at university level, right? So let's say you talked about country level, fine. Again, there are some universities in Canada, UK, which are asking for it. Some universities in US which don't ask for it. How would I figure this out? So it's a simple way to do, which is Googling it. Every university does have a website. You can just go to their website, do it admissions, graduate programs or doctoral programs. If you're applying for PhD, it's doctoral. If you're applying for masters, it's graduate program. See the branch of specialization you're interested in, and they would write admission requirements. That's what they call it, admission requirements. Or you can also do this thing. For example, I did this Harvard University Masters in Computers. I googled this way, not plus sign. Harvard University Masters in Computer Science application checklist. This is what I googled, and one of the top results you'll get would be leading to this page, which talks about checklist. Basically means like, okay, before you submit the application, make sure you've done all of this. Fill the form of the university, an SOP, statement of purpose. This is what you need to do for all the universities. Okay, you need to give a statement of purpose, which basically means this is why I'm applying to a university. Is university is good for this, or my goal is this? Why are you applying for this program, this university? You need to apply with your CV, your resume, right? Then you need to get recommendation letters from your professors, your mentors, your managers if you're working, any guides, any people who know you personally and recommend you, not your parents or family, obviously at a professional level, right? Technically, most of the students do get from their professors, right? Who would give that, hey, this student is good, he's hardworking, I know him for this purpose, etc. Then you need to have your college transcripts, your mark sheets. Then you clearly find this official ETS GRE revised general test score report. This is mandatory, and official TOEFL or IELTS score report. These are mandatory. This means if you are applying for this program, you have to take these two tests. If you go without this, your application is rejected. You are basically wasting your money by applying for this. As simple as it. Right? So every university would write this clearly in their web page. Okay. Like for example, if you look at this, it's for Stanford. This is for Stanford. Again, I did a Google search and I got this thing for Stanford University. Each university will have an application fee like $125, 50, 70, 80, depends on the university. An SOP, recommendation letters. You need to apply, online application should be completed. You need resume, transcripts, and then you need to take GRE, you need to take TOEFL or IELTS. See, GRE, there are two tests. There's something called subject test and general test. Okay. General test is the one which everyone will take, which is math and English testing one. Doesn't matter what branch, what specialization you are looking at, general test is common for everyone. Everyone has to attempt. There are 6 subject tests that only works mostly for people who are in science stream like maths, physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, and literature. As I told you, it makes sense if you are trying to apply for science streams, not like engineering or other streams. Some people will ask, but that's why you clearly have to read. They say all applicants are required to take GRE general test. You see, even the Harvard thing had this general test, right? So, and they are valid for 5 years. GRE is valid for 5 years. As long as you've taken the test within the last 5 years, you can apply it. That's what this one is also saying. So that's what that's how you will figure out if you need to take GRE or not. Be it for any country, okay? All I said, no, you just have to go about this logic. Go to the university website, check the admission requirements or application criteria, and you will check what are the things that they are saying, and clearly you know whether you need to take GRE or not. This year, due to COVID, I'll tell you in US, for example, around 20 to 25% of universities have waived off the GRE. This is something that's happened just for this year. And I don't think they will continue it for the next year because things are open now. People are taking it comfortably. I think the universities will start asking it for the next year. But even now, I would say 75% of universities have not waived off. So you still need GRE to apply for it. So just take that as a note. Then how would I know which university should I look at? Right? So I mean, what universities suit me? There are hundreds of universities in the world. How would I check it? So I'll tell you, do one thing. There are two things you can do. Number one, you can reach out to us in our website and fill a form, or reach out to our team. We'll share a form based on which we'll give a short list. That is, based on your profile, we'll tell you which universities would be suitable list for you to just do a preliminary research, so that you go to the websites of those universities, check the program, check the requirements, and decide your future action plan. The second thing is you do your own research by checking the rankings. For example, there's something called QS rankings, right, which are the top rankings. One of the famous ranking company, you just Google it and you search that I want to do masters in architecture, masters in chemical engineering, civil engineering, computer science, maybe masters in physics, psychology, physiology, whatever it is. They would give you the top universities across the world ranked from 1 to 1000. Now pick some universities in top 100, top 200, top 300, 400, so that you understand what is expectation of top universities, expectation of average universities, and below average universities. So that you will know whether I should take the GRE, a TOEFL, or IELTS, and accordingly you plan your thing. One thing I'll tell you before I move forward is this, you know, that application process is are a journey of a year at least. You have to plan things properly so that you get into best university. Don't think I can rush in last 2 3 months. Never going to happen. Okay, so people have to prepare for exams, get their profile boosted up, then start shortlisting universities, apply for it, get an admit, apply for visa, get an admit, sort your financials, then go for university. It's a long process, so don't think I can do in just few months. Like, I want to go for August 2021 and I want to start now. It does not work for US. You are too late for US. Yes, for UK, Australia, it still is possible, but I'm just telling you. Yes, it's still possible for US, but you are going to get into not so good universities. So it's better you plan things upfront so that you get into best possible universities for your profile. So it's not only your CGPA, your GRE, TOEFL, IELTS score that matters. It's also the timing, how early you apply, how planned you are, so that you get in a better university. So, for example, if you're by chance, if you're someone who wants to go for MBA, GRE is getting a huge acceptance for MBA programs also. But for MBA, let me tell you, in US, you should have 2 years of experience. That's a basic requirement for top or any good university. So, experience matters a lot more for you. For UK, Australia, it is doable to an extent, but still experience is recommended. By any chance, if you're someone who is looking at MBA, if you're a fresher, I would suggest, if you're an engineer, there's something called engineering management. That's a master's, which is a mix of management and engineering subjects. Or you can also look at courses like masters in supply chain, masters in operations. They go into a little bit of management side, but master's program, and they don't ask for work ex. So there are few programs that you can apply. For all of this, GRE would be the thing. But if you are looking at proper MBA thing, like MBA degree as such, GMAT is the test I would recommend. You should go about taking the GMAT. GRE is acceptable. It's getting more acceptance, more investors are accepting it. But I will still say, if you're 100% clear on applying only for MBA programs, not other master programs, then you should look at only GMAT, not GRE. Don't waste your time on it. Look for GMAT. So now comes the story, right? Why are universities interested in GRE scores? The fact is very simple. GRE provides a score which can be used to compare a guy from India, right, and a guy from a China, and maybe a student from Australia. Otherwise, imagine so many universities across the world, so many different boards, different scoring systems, different CGPA percentage logic. How can they compare the quality of the students? This is where GRE has brought that thing. Even he's from India, China, Australia, it doesn't matter. He got 310, he got 300. That means this student's skill set must be better at a basic level than this student. That is where universities are liking GRE. So they believe that GRE can help them to clarify and classify students into good, not so good, right? But you should also understand that GR is just one of the parameter, not the only parameter. That means GR is for 340. Let's say I get 340 out of 340. Can that assure a seat in each and every university in the world? No. Harvard, Stanford, they don't take you in. They need a lot of other factors. What are the other factors? Your academics. They matter a lot. I would say one of the most important factor will be your CGPA, the college you come from, and your backlogs. Lesser the backlogs, or zero backlogs, a good college like IIT, NIT, BITS are good state level colleges, adds value, and higher CGPA, right? What is good CGPA and good percentage? See, higher it is, better it is. I will tell you, 70% and above is good to have. right? It's good to have 80% and above is very good to have. 90% above will take you to very good universities. If you have between 60 to 70, not that it is the end of the world, but you will have a little bit lesser chances. Below 60, it will be more hard to get into good universities. But how do I cover it up, right? Let's say I'm at 70% or 68%. What else can I do to boost my profile to get a better university? This is where your exam scores come into picture, right? Boost with your GRE score, boost with your IELTS or TOEFL score, get a very good score. Let's say if I am applying to US University as a guy with 7 CGPA and got 315 in GRE, as a guy with 8 with 300 in GRE, this guy has a better chance to get in. Again, it's a bit subjective. Each person has a different opinion in terms of university admissions also, but I have seen a lot of cases where people could make into a good universities with lower CGPA but great GRE score. Because as I said, it is appreciated a lot by the university, so good score will always give you a better chance. But if I have a CG of 6 and I got 340 out of 340, will I get Harvard? Definitely no, not in any day. Unless you have really something else in life, that's a different story. But in general, no, it does not work that way. What else they look? They look at experience. It could be work experience that you have worked, it could be your internships, it could be your projects. All of these things would also matter, but they should be relevant. Let's say you're applying for masters in computers and you work as a mechanical engineering in a manufacturing plant or sector. That work experience does not add any value. But you worked as a full stack developer in a software development company, that experience do add value if you're applying for masters in computers. It's a very simple logic that it should be relevant. What else can add value? Your research background, because academic world always appreciates that. I know a lot of students do not do it, but if by any chance your publications like IEEE or domestic or international, whatever it is, or you work with a professor where you helped him or her to do some publication, and if they give a letter of recommendation, it adds a lot of value. So experience in this also adds value. So some people try to work on this intentionally or try to do internships in some institutes where they can get some research experience, all of that. Research experience is appreciated always by the universities. And then comes your SOPs and LORs. Sorry. Right? How good your statement of purpose is when someone reads, are they happy to see this profile? And LOR is letter of recommendation, is who is recommending you. As a professor who has a great publications and citations and reputation in research world, if he or she is recommending you, you will have a great support in your process compared to some random person who has no reputation in the world. Right? So who is recommending you also would matter. When I say reputation, not that everyone should know him by name. Even if a prof gets a recommendation from another professor, they can just do the research, simple research in the internet to find how famous is this guy with respect to the publications, where did they publish, citations. It's very easy to know how good a professor is in terms of research. So that adds a lot of value. Or if you're getting from a manager, if someone is working with Google or Microsoft and you're getting from someone with a very good reputation, the profile of the recommender is great, then you'll have a good boost. So can work experience be deciding tool if my CG is around 7? Yes, it depends on which programs you're applying for as well. Let's say you're applying for analytics, you're applying for management domains, experience adds a lot of value over engineering subjects. But let's say you're applying for computers masters and you worked as a software developer for 2-3 years, it adds a value. Definitely it adds value, but definitely not that it will cover up all your problems. So you have to work on other elements also. But yes, it's good. It definitely adds value. Would it be deciding? Definitely not. I would never put this as a deciding thing. The deciding power has, these things have more of a deciding power than that. But still, it has its power. Okay, not that. See, the point is this: not that one thing will cover and say yes or no. It's mix of all of this. Okay, all things sum up together to give up you an overall feel, and whether you get selected or you don't get selected. Okay, so this is what you have to understand in terms of the admission process. And number two, you should understand the university shortlisting part, right? Whether I should take GRE, whether I should take IELTS, TOEFL, how do you plan all of that? Ensure nothing will ensure you scholarship, Nisag, but I'll tell you, scholarship is given to people who are profile wise top. That is, if there are 100 people joining in a batch, the top 2, 3, 4 might get the scholarship. Depends on university's criteria and all. And how do they decide which profile is top? By looking at all of this. Obviously, all of this sum up together to give you scholarship. Good GRE score will boost your chance of getting scholarship, undoubtedly. But it should be mapped up with all of these things. Just because I got 340 out of 340, again, same example I'll tell you. it doesn't translate to getting a scholarship. But a good GRE score, I'll tell you this way, okay, let me put it this way. Can I get a scholarship without a great GRE score? I've never seen cases like that. Can I get a scholarship just because I have a great GRE score? Not necessary. But GRE score, a good GRE score will definitely increase your chances. That's the thing I can tell you. Right? But just because you have a great GRE score, you will not get a 100% guarantee. Increasing your chances, definitely yes. But all things matter. Great CGPA, great profile, great exam scores, great experience in research and all, your SOP was good, you will get it. But I also tell you there are campus jobs like graduate assistant, research assistant, teaching assistant, where you will get fee waivers and get stipend to work and earn money wise and all. That will again depend on your IELTS scores, because to work your communication skills are tested, IELTS and TOEFL scores. And number two, you have to have a good research background. Research assistant will be given to someone who has worked in a lot of research domain. Teaching assistant is given to someone who has great academics, great CGPA, and all of that. So all things, again would translate to those specific factors, and accordingly you get scholarships also. Right. So let's move ahead. So what is the pattern of the exam, right? So I'll spend briefly on these things also. Like, see, GRE is technically two essays. I'll just put it down skeletal level. Two English sections of 20 questions, basically 40 English questions and 40 math questions. Right, and there will be 20 additional questions which will be put up somewhere in between. You won't know which are those 20 questions, but it is unscored section, which means you won't get any score for it. Why are they testing that? They are doing for their own research purpose. You are just a guinea pig over there that they are just testing you. Okay. So 40 in English and math questions and two essays, totally two essays, and 40 is 80 and 20 unscored. So totally you'll be doing 100, like 40 math, 40 English and 20 unscored, which will be again English or math only, but you won't know which are what. So that's hidden over there. Altogether, it's an exam of 4 hours. I'll tell you one thing when it comes to GRE. GRE does not only test your skill set, like how good you are in math and English, but also your endurance test. This is something no one would say or no one would agree. Maybe I don't know specifically or very explicitly, but I've seen a lot of cases where students are good with their skill set. That is, I've seen them personally that they do the questions well, they solve the questions fast, quick, well, and their abilities to get 320 plus or 315 is what I assess them. But suddenly I've seen them getting 310 only in the actual GRE. Right. What was the reason? I asked them, they tell, so suddenly in the end of the exam, the last few minutes or the last few sections, they couldn't concentrate. Why? Because trust me, sitting for 3.5 hours, giving your 100% is not easy job. You need to train yourself, train your mind to endure that. That comes only by taking mock tests. This is something I want to stress again. I talk about it when I discuss on the mocks, but just wanted to say this. If you are preparing for GRE, do not underestimate the mocks. At least take 4 to 5 mocks so that you get used to sitting through entire 3.5 hours. That is a rigorous process. It does not happen that on the day I will be serious. I'll just go and sit and I'll do my best. Your mind does not work that way. It needs to be trained to be having some endurance and some support to sit for 4 hours, giving its best. Right? So what is AVA? So let me take this university having not good rank, and student from that university can get. Yes, DPU, it does happen. We have seen students do it. How does that happen? Great CGPA, great GRE scores, good research background, a great profile. So it does happen. It's not that people only from IITs or big IITs get into top 30, 20 universities. People from other universities also get. But then, as I said, you have to, get other things good. Like you have to get a better GRE score than an IITN. You have to get a better CGPA than IITN. So all these things have to be better than someone else to get that seat. Right? That's definitely done. So now essays, there are two essays called an issue essay and argument essay. It's just type of essay. So issue means they give you a couple of lines to write an essay on. Argument means they will actually argue with their own point of view. That is, they'll give you, we believe ABC are the reason for a particular conclusion. Do you agree or disagree with it? What are your views? So you need to critically examine the arguments they have put, assumptions made, and argue against it or in favor of it. But in issue, they won't give any arguments. They'll give you, to understand the most important characteristics of a society, one must study its city, whether you agree or disagree. But whereas the other type, they would give you, they believe A is the reason, B is the reason, C is the reason. That's why the conclusion is arrived. So you need to argue on it, right? The two essays, basically 30 minutes each. Then comes the math part, which a lot of people are scared. Depends on which background you come from. Math is technically 10th grade math. Okay, Leaving few topics, I can confidently tell you that nothing comes beyond that in terms of concepts, in terms of difficulty also. Arithmetic, basically numbers, percentages, profit, loss, time, speed and distance, time and work. Algebra, you won't get complicated ones. Basic stuff like linear equations, quadratic is the highest you see in this. A bit of inequalities, functions, right? Basic stuff. Geometry, lines, triangles, circles, 3D geometry, cubes, cuboids, etc. And data, we have graphs and all. That's something we might have not done in school. Then you do probability, permutations, and combinations, and all of that. Then you get a little bit of statistics, which could be a little bit advanced. Okay, that is like mean median mode we would have done, but normal distribution, box plot, these are some elements that are there which would not be, which we wouldn't have done. But I'll tell you, even if you don't do them, you should be still getting happily 165 plus if you know other things well. So there are only a couple of questions that might pop up, not even necessary that you see. So, but still, it's not really hard, right? The question types are like there's 4 types: single correct answer, 5 options, select the correct answer, multiple correct answers, 4 options, all 4 could be correct, 3 could be correct. So select all the options that are correct. Numeric entries, fill in the blank, you just have to enter the answer. Then there's something unique called quantitative comparisons. I'll show you that question to make you understand. So this is a typical GRE question, okay? If you can solve questions of this level, you should be looking at 145, 150 in the actual GRE math. Even if you pick up questions of this level and do all of those in the exam, you should be comfortably looking at that level. Okay. So I'll tell you what scoring system is for GRE. Maybe you don't know what 140, 150 is by chance. So this quantitative comparison question will give you some information. Then they'll say quantity A is something, quantity B is something. Then you have to compare them. Quantity A is greater is first option, quantity B is greater is the second option, both of them are equal is the third option. Or the given information that is being put up here is not sufficient to determine which one is greater. So then you have to mark the option D. See, it's a very simple thing, okay? They're asking what is the greatest prime factor of 288. So how do you do a prime factor? We would have done the prime factorization in 5th or 4th grade if I am not wrong. Just multiply into prime. 2 into 144, 2 into 72, 2 into 36, 2 into 18, 2 into 9, 3 into 3. So the prime factors of 288 are 2 and 3. These are the only 2 prime numbers I am seeing. And which one is the greater one of the lot? 3. So the greatest prime factor of 288 is 3, which is x. So x is 3. Now let's look at this. The greatest prime factor of 192 is y. So let's do the prime factors for 192. 2 into 96, 2 into 48, 2 into 24, 2 into 12, 2 into 6, 2 into 3. Again, there are only 2 prime factors, 2 and 3. Out of that, the greatest is 3. So y is also 3. Both of them are equal to 3. So the answer is quantities are equal. See, it takes you less than a minute. All we did was a very simple factorization, nothing complicated, nothing hard, and this is something you would have done at a school level. Trust me, this is what GRE tests, right? There are some hard questions also, I'm not denying that. This is definitely on the easier side in GRE, but if you can do easier questions also, you can comfortably get a decent score in GRE. The fact is that everyone has a different desired score, so I'm telling, depending on your scores, you have to work on, but it's not difficult to get 295, 300, right? That's something you can do with effort. Forget about how bad you are or how bad your basics are. You can definitely get on with, the this stuff, right? So the verbal part is something next. I will tell you, verbal is basically mix of 2 things: your reading skills. They'll give you passages, you need to read, comprehend, that is understand and answer the questions, which is 50% of the verbal questions. The remaining 50% is vocabulary, which is words. How good is your vocabulary? How difficult, how many difficult words do you know, or something like that, right? So 50% of the questions are this. So read the passage and answer the questions. Half the questions would be that. The remaining text completion, sentence equivalents are basically you need to fit a suitable word in a given blank. They'll give a sentence, they'll remove one word, they'll put a blank over there, they'll ask you to select a word. It's just that the words are hard. Most of the students do not know the words. That's where the GRE verbal part becomes hard. So vocabulary is 50%. You have single correct answer, multiple correct answer, same type, 5 options or 4 options, select the one correct answer. There could be 4 or 5 options, see each one individually and select the correct options. This is a bit unique, select in passage. You just have to select a line in the passage. They'll tell you which of the lines in the passage will answer a particular question. Just have to select the suitable line in the passage. That's it. It's again like selecting an option only. So what skills they test in verbal? Reading and vocabulary. How good can you read? Grammar is not tested. It's only about can you read and understand something, and do you know the meanings of these words? That's what they're testing. So now I'll focus on the scoring system. How does the scoring system work? Is this AVA is rated from 0 to 6, right? Essays. So they will give you like 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, etc. So 5, 5.5. That's the half bands are what you will be seeing. So let's say a student has written good and they get 4.5 in essay. Anything about 3, I would say is good. 3, 3.5, it's fine. You don't have to worry about getting 5, 5.5 in it. For admission process, this is a bare score that you need to have. You don't have to get 6 out of 6 to get a very good admit. Math 130 is the zero score. That is, if you go to the exam and attempt nothing, there's no negative marking in GRE. Okay, so let's say you have not attempted anything, you get everything wrong or rather zero, you still get 130. If you get everything correct, you get 170. What is the difference between 130 and 170? Is 40. Wait, 130 plus 40 is 170. And how many questions are there in math? I said 40 questions. So immediately you might think each question is 1 point. So how many would I get correct would give me the score accordingly. Let's say if I get 20 correct, so 20 points is what I'll get for 20. So 130 plus 20 is 150 is what I get as a score, which is not completely correct. I'll explain about it briefly, but just keep that in mind. Then verbal also same logic. 130 is minimum, 170 is maximum. So 130 plus 130 is 260. Your individual quant and verbal scores are added to get it. Let's say student got 160 in verbal, 150 in quant. His overall score is 310 and 4.5 in AVA. That's how he gets the scorecard. So same story, 170 plus 170, 340 is the highest. So how will the scoring system work, right? Let me show you the simple example. This is important to build a strategy also. That's why I'm stressing on this. GRE is an adaptive exam, okay? That means it changes the difficulty of exam depending on your skill set, right? How good you are or how bad you are, based on which it will change its difficulty. So, let's say everyone on a particular day will get same difficulty, same questions for the first section. So, there are two sections in math, as I said, first and 20 questions, and second section have another 20 questions. So, GRE difficulty wise would grade questions on 1 to 5. 1 is easy, 5 is hard. Okay, so 12 questions would be medium difficulty, 4 will be easy and 4 will be hard. It's an approximate split, okay? I'm not saying exactly this is what we will see, but more or less the stress will be more on medium, few hard and few easy questions. Will complete 20 questions. This is common for all the students. Let's take case of 3 students. There's a student 1 who is good in math. So he got 15 out of 20 correct in the first section, okay? The first section he got 15 correct. The GRE thinks that this guy seems to be very good. Let me challenge with a hard section. Okay, so that means you will get more of hard questions, few medium and few easier questions. Let's say the student got only 5 correct now because hard he couldn't do well, whatever it is. So totally how many he is getting correct? He is getting 20 out of 40 correct. Okay, now let's take a second case. Okay, student 2 who got 10 correct in the first section. Okay, so now he comes to the second section. The GRE thinks because he got only 10 correct, he's fine. He's an average student. So he will give the same combination again. Medium 12, easy 4, hard 4. Let's say the student scored again 10 out of 20. He is also getting 20 out of 40 on the whole. Okay, the third one, student 3 is doing bad. He got only 5 out of 20 correct. Okay, let's say. Now what happens? The GRE thinks the student is not good. So let me not make him find hard. So let's give an easier section, which will be more easy questions, less medium and less hard, which looks a very enticing thing, like, oh, I get easy questions, it's better, right? But let's say somehow doesn't happen, but I'm just saying somehow student got 15 correct now. So that means student 3 also got 20 out of 40. Will all of them get 130 plus 20, 150, 150, 150? Because 130 is the base score, everyone got 20 correct. So 130 plus 20, no, that's not how it works. If you get a harder section, you'll get a bonus. GRE will be kind enough to give you a bonus. So you'll get a bonus of 2 to 4 points. So this student will be getting 152 to 154. If you get a medium, there could be a partial bonus or maybe no bonus. So you might get a bonus of 0 to 2. That means your score will be like 150 to 152. And if you get a easier section, you will be penalized. You will get a penalty. So you will be getting 130 plus 20 correct, but you will be losing 2 to 4 points. So you will be getting around 146 to 148. You see, all the 3 got same number of questions correct, but You are getting 153, 154, you're getting 146, 147. So the students will be at a different position because it's fair enough. No, he got hard, he got easy. So GRE will take care of that. But to adapt, they keep moving around. So what you should do is always try to get at least the medium or the hard sections. At least you do 8 plus correct in the first section, you will again come with the medium section so that you don't get a penalty. With because of one or two questions, right? I'll tell you, for example, there's a student who got 6 correct in the first section and 7 correct in the second section. Okay, so this means he'll get an easier section. So he'll be getting 13 correct, but he'll be penalized because he got only 6 correct. Let's say student got 8 correct and he got 6 correct here, or maybe 5 correct here. He got 13, but he will get slight bonus because he got medium to medium. So you should definitely aim to at least get 7 or 8 correct. That's the benchmark. Okay, if you get below 7 or 8, you will get a easier section. So get at least 8, you'll definitely get a medium. That's an empirical thing. No written formula per se, but it's what we've observed. So that's a tip that I'm giving. So let me show this with a simple example here. This sample scorecard of a mock test of ETS official thing. So this is how it works. So the first section, see the difficulty level. 3 means medium. Most of them are medium. You'll see few difficult ones, 5, 4, 4 and 4. There are 4 hard ones and there are few easy ones like 1, 2, 1, 2. The rest all are 3, 3, 3, 3. Right? There are 12 medium, 4 hard and 4 easy questions. How many did the student get correct? 1 wrong, 2 and 3 wrong. So 17 out of 20. Student is pretty good. So he will be getting a hard section in the second one. Let's see the difficulty. Hard, 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 hard. See 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. Most of the questions are on the harder side. Very few easy medium. Right? That's expected because the student did very good in this. But see how many did he get correct? 1 wrong, 2 wrong, everything else is right. So he got again 18 out of 20 in this. So the student got 35 out of 40 correct. So by default, his score should be 130 plus 35 for getting correct. Then he'll get a bonus of 1 to 2. You won't get the bigger bonus when you get close to 170, obviously. So the student must be getting around 167 for this course, okay? Which is what he's getting. So that's the advantage of getting a harder section, though it's difficult. But that's what you should aim for. Ideally, you should aim for harder and difficult questions to get a good score. So just a rule of, a table to understand. Get almost 17 plus correct to get 165. If you're looking at 150, try to get 10 and 10 correct. Like a basic rule. Right? Almost everything correct will fetch you like 1 or 2 mistakes can get you 168, 169, 170. Same thing works for verbal also. First a medium one, depending on how good you do, get a hard, medium, and easy section. Accordingly, it adapts and you get a scores like this. So that's what you will do. Getting almost everything, but verbal is a bit harder. That's why even if you get 15, 16 correct in each section, you'll get 165. Quant, I said you should get 17 correct to get 165 because in general, people get less number of things correct in verbal to get the same score. So that's how the system works. So that's what it is. So now I'll move on to the preparation part. Before that, I'll just briefly touch upon a couple of courses that we offer. We also have a free trial and free course that we are doing. You can try it if you're interested. So there are 3 courses we are offering. I'll spend a couple of minutes on it before I move on to the preparation resources, which one, how to prepare and all, for 10 minutes before I keep the session open for Q&A. So there are 3 courses that we are offering. One is only for mock tests. Okay, and one is self-paced course. That is, see, people ask me how many hours should I put. I'll put you a genuine effort is 200 to 250 hours, okay, to take a GRE and give you a best shot, which includes classes and concepts, practice, mock tests. All things considered, 200 to 250 is a good effort. Can I do in a month? Maybe if you can do it 10 12 hours every day, you can do it. Can I do in 3 months? Yes, that's what I would think is an ideal time. 3 months is an ideal time to prepare. Maybe some people do 6 months, 9 months, spread out over their own, convenient time. But altogether, my sum would be in hours, not in the months or weeks or days. It's about how much time you put, quality effort. Right. So we have built a self-paced course which has 300 plus concept videos recorded, lot of practice questions 2000 so that you get all kind of practice, full length mock test, sectional practice tests. We clear your doubts. We have a WhatsApp group for our students, so our trainers will help you out with all of that. So all of this together, which is going to be covering everything from a very basic level. I'll tell about that. But that's something self-paced. This is for people who are disciplined and who can do on their own. Okay. Whereas we have a live training also where we take live classes also. 50 hours of live classes, which will be covering quant and verbal. This will work for people who need the motivation to sit in a class and get some support, more personal mentorship and support in that way. Everything else that's offered in self-paced is already given. Along with that, you'll also sit in the live classes so that you get to practice more questions and get more doubts cleared and get your the trainer will help. Basically, I also take classes, so I'll help students ask questions, make them experience why they thought in a way and that's not correct or not. And then we have only mock tests. This is for pure practice purpose. Let's say you don't want concepts or something, you just want to practice. So practice the mocks, analyze the mocks, sit with our experts to analyze where you are weak, how you can prepare your plan to do well and all of that. So this is a third course that we offer, which is for 2,000 rupees only. So we are right now running a 50% off on all of this. You get everything at a 50% discount, and it's valid for 1 year. So you can definitely use it. So you'll get the details on it, but I'll tell you only one more minute on why we believe it's a good thing you can look at. First thing, we are offering a free trial which has more than 10 hours of content to experience what we claim that we can deliver. We also have a free demo class you can sit and experience, which is happening tomorrow. You'll get the details of that also. If you're interested, you can sit through. This is what is very unique about us. Okay, so I've been training students over the last years. Okay, I've seen students who have done engineering and struggle with what is 30 divided by 7. What is the remainder when 30 is divided by 7? How do you do 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 in math? Okay, maybe it could be on the verbal part, right? If I ask you what is eloquent, what is loquacious, what is voracious, words people don't know. So a lot of words, reading skill set, it could be on multiple level that people have issues. So what our system does, it adapts to your level. So we are teaching from this level, which is from the basics, right? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4, what is this and all. But I'll tell you, this is not required for everyone. You might be pretty good. You might be a student who knows 80% in a topic. What our system does, we have enabled an artificial intelligence based system which checks your ability at every point and skips the things that you know. It says you don't need to watch it because you already know it. You can still go ahead and watch it, it's a choice, but it is optimizing your time. And let's say there's a student who knows only 20% in a topic, it teaches the remaining 80%. So that way you only learn what you don't know. You don't waste your time on again watching the things, which is what you see in the normal classes when you do. Because you know certain things, you still have to sit, you feel bored, and you're wasting your time. You could invest in the areas where you're weak. Let's say you're weak in math in a particular topic, or maybe you're weak in verbal in particular topic. So it's better to invest your time on that by skipping certain things which you're already good at. That is what our personalized learning can do. And how can you experience it? Take a free trial and see our quants and all of that. You'll understand. We teach from basic level. You'll also understand how basics are covered. We have an engine which can generate questions, which basically means you can practice infinite. Technically, you can practice infinite questions till you get tired, basically, right? And so you get analytics to see where you're weak, how you can improve. Our team will support you. Our instructors, the core team is our team I introduced in first, who have taken GRE, GMAT, CAT, and been training students. So you'll get set. So again, I tell you, I don't want to stress more on it. So just see it. You can experience what we offer and you can understand that. So now let's jump to the part about how do I prepare for GRE. Okay, what all books or what all material should I use? Okay, so one thing I'll tell you, this is a Bible for me in terms of GRE. You should, maybe when I say Bible, be Bhagavad Gita, Quran. No, don't take it that way religious way. It's like a must-do book basically. This is the company which conducts GRE. EPS is the company which conducts GRE. Okay, so they have released this book called Official Guide, which has 300 questions, 150 quant and 150 verbal. So you should definitely practice all the questions in this book. If you can do only one book, you can spend only 10-15 hours before taking the actual GRE. This is the bare minimum I would ask students to do, so that at least you get used to the basics and refresh things and get used to the pattern. Okay, so that's one thing I would recommend. But this is not the thing I want you to do if you have time and if you want to invest time. So I would split the preparation into two phases, right, for any exam. First is called skill building. The second is called the practice phase. So skill building phase is not about your speed, not about your shortcuts, not about your accuracies and all. What matters is your conceptual learning. Am I comfortable with these concepts, right? With practice, you can work on these things. But first, if you don't have these concepts, irrespective of how much you practice, you will not see a change. See, it's like building your base first properly, right? You can't build a 10-storied building without having proper base. Have a solid foundation, then things will just fall in place. This is where a lot of people make mistake. Okay, trust me, this is what all of us make mistake when we learn. Not just for this exam. Anything that you feel that you are not good with subject, it's not because you are not good, you are stupid, or you are poor at something, or whatever the people call it, whatever you think of yourself. The reality is that somehow you did not find the right resources to make you build a solid foundation, and maybe you did not put effort. That is also a reason. All of us make that mistake also. We are all lazy in a way. So if you want to work hard and put things change, then you need to work on laying a solid foundation and start seeing wonderful things happening. Trust me on that. Not just in this, I'm telling you in life, anything in life. So, conceptual phase, this is a good set of books I love. There's a book called Manhattan Prep GRE Strategy, guys. There are 8 books. Okay, 6 for quant and 2 for verbal. The best part about it is it starts from this 1/2 plus 1/4. What is x plus 2x? Very basic level. I've seen students who struggle with this. So, if you don't know these basics, even if you do advanced questions, right, you will not improve much. You will struggle again with this. Imagine this, that's a hard question. You have done all the things correct. Then you came to this stage, okay? And what is the value for x? I've seen students doing something wrong here also. Okay, they do something like this. I've seen, I'm not joking, not even by chance, some of us, there's nothing wrong in it, just that they got some issues with the basics. So then they think it has 36. Okay, so people have different ways of finding it. Okay, so I'm telling you, this is what has been an experience for me when I started teaching, that I'm seeing different kinds of students. So this is where this book helps you to sort out your basics first. But the only problem is each book is 200 pages, 6 books, 200 pages, long way to go. And you might know certain things, you might waste your time. That's where we have built this course, which is taken inspiration from this in a way, that we have tried to teach basics, but we made sure that our AI will skip things that you know and will teach you only what you don't know, and save you time, optimize your preparation. Right? But still, if you prefer books, this is a good set to look at your basics level. And if you're not someone who's struggling with very fundamentals, but you want to refresh your formulas quickly, this is a good book you can see. This has like 5 to 10 pages dedicated for each chapter, so you can just refresh the formula, solve few problems, and get on with your basics sorted quickly. But it's an old book, not like a very relevant one in the current GRE. Don't do too many questions, just do it to revise the formulas. Then comes your practice phase, where you need to work on getting used to the GRE questions, time, accuracy, speed, shortcuts, and all of that. This is a good book, very famous book, 5LB. I like for the math part only, quant part. Good book to practice. It has almost 800 questions. Varieties of questions are good. They have solutions also. The problems are: number one, no concepts being discussed. Number two, they don't arrange the difficulty level. So you will see easy, medium, mixed, all of the places. So, and then there are some questions which are too difficult, are not required for GRE level. It's fun for people who love to do math, but otherwise people get scared. So for that reason, I would say be careful with that. But there are good set of questions that you can practice in this book, right? And obviously there is official book for ETS, not the guide which I showed, right? This is official guide, official guide. See this word. And then there is this thing also called official GRE practice questions for quant. Similarly, there's something for verbal also. There are 3 official books we can do, which are very good books to practice upon. You'll also get the video. Don't worry about noting down. By any chance, if you're planning to note down and all, you will get to watch this recording, so you will get the access. So don't worry, you can watch this again. So when it comes to the verbal part, what should I do? Again, skill building. So verbal skill building is building your reading skills and your vocabulary. See, I'll tell you, reading, to put in mathematical numbers. So GRE difficulty would be grade 16, grade 17. Okay, there is a way. There is a way to judge the difficulty of any reading passage, how hard it is to read. So it is coming close to grade 16. Most of the students I see would be at a level of grade 10, 11. Okay, I've seen even 7, 8 level. Grade 10, 11, 12 is what most of the students I've seen. So there is a gap that needs to be bridged. That is, people are not used to read a higher level difficulty readings. So they should start getting used to that. How do I do it? Read this material. New York Times, Economist, Wall Street Journal of Asia. This is what GRE has recommended. You can find an official website. These, they say we pick from material or rather passages from quality similar to this. So you can read this to get used to that. So these are good things. This is my personal favorite called Arts and Letters Daily, aldaily.com. This is a website where they pick articles from different websites and they post it. So it's a curation site, but quality is good, so you can definitely read it. Finally, you can read books and novels. Again, don't read Indian authors or some useless slang-based books. Rather, read quality English, right? Biographies, autobiographies, or maybe like maybe even Dan Brown novels. If you're reading fiction, also read quality English, not a bad one. Then vocabulary is where I would recommend this book called Word Power Made Easy, a very good book by Norman Lewis, my favorite book, but people don't read it because it takes 40 hours plus effort. But this is a worth your investment, not for GRE, for your entire life, to improve your communication skills and vocabulary. But people don't do it. What is the option? There's something called Wordless. So there's Magoosh app. You can download this app for free and read the words around 1,000 words. There are Barron's Wordless, which is famous. But I would recommend these 3 to be done. You can find for free. Just Google them, you get the 357 words, 700 words and all. If you see, there will be a lot of overlapping also. Just try to read them regularly to improve your vocabulary, right? And doesn't happen overnight. You have to put effort continuously. Then comes the practice part, right, where you have to get used to some of the question types and all. Again, management guides can help. Our course also talks about some tips and tricks on how to solve the questions and all of that. Then comes the practice phase, right? You need to practice. I'll tell you one thing. I won't recommend this book. One thing I'll tell you for verbal, focus a lot more on the reading and word list part, vocabulary part, and focus less on solving questions. There are enough questions to solve from the official guide itself. There are 300 questions, 150 from the official guide and 150 from this book. So 300 is good enough for you to practice. If you still want to practice passages, this is a decent book you can look at, only for passages, right? That's what I'll tell you. Uh, okay, then so Nisrag, if you talk about how many words should I day per day, I'll tell you altogether learning around 1500 words, right, is what you should do. But the fact is, people forget things. So you have to repeat things. So that is what I would say. So if you ask me, if you come across these words 5 to 6 times in a short period of time, in let's say 2 3 months, you will get it into your body. So that way I'll put it 1500 new words, repeating them 5 times. So it's like you have to start looking at 7500 words in how many days. It's up to you. You have to understand that, right? So this is a psychology or a research-based proof that people don't memorize things if they read it once. You need to repeat it. If you read today, after 7 days, after a month, after 2 months, do it 3 4 times at regular intervals. Then you will not forget the words or anything based on memory. So we recommend people to do that. If you look at these word lists, they would recommend around 1500 words. So it all depends on how you want to go about and how you want to split, right? So yes, how many words per day depends, right? 10 15 I think is a good split to have over time. So that's something you should work on. But if you have only 1 month, you have to definitely read much faster. So then comes the mocks, right? Very very important thing. There are 2 free ETS mocks. ETS is the company which conducts GRE. They give you 2 free. Use it after you book the GRE slot. Use it in the last 2 weeks. Don't use it before. Don't abuse it, because these are the best indicators of how good you are, how close you are, and how you need to prepare with your strategy and all closer to the exam. Don't abuse it before. If you want to take a test to see how good you are, we have a free diagnostic test. You can take it, which is going to tell you what's your current ability right now. There are free tests given by Manhattan Prep, Kaplan, Princeton Review. You can just Google them, free GRE test Manhattan Prep. They give you one each for free, like what we are giving. You can check your score. If you want to just assess, do use this. Don't waste them. But as I said, you should take 4 tests to 5 tests at least when you're taking the actual GRE. That's my recommendation. So don't skip that part. Our section is not a big deal. No one stresses a lot on it. So we do have few videos we have done in our course. People can learn from it, write some essays. In the mocks, they can write and get assessment and feedback from our team. But you can read the tips and tricks over here. They'll be like 20 30 page dedicated. They'll give some sample essays. They write about what is good, what is bad. And by chance, if you are preparing for TOEFL or IELTS or anything, your writing section is already taken care of. So you don't have to worry too much. Just get some tips and you can get job done. As I said again, AWAD, you don't have to master it to get 6 out of 6. Even if you get 3.5 or 4, it's same as getting 5.5. Your admit won't change unless you're applying for literature masters, where your English skill set matters a lot more. Right. As I said, this is what I was telling you, free diagnostic course that we offer. You will get a mail also. You can see in our store also, which talks about the entire GRE preparation. Whatever I've discussed now in the webinar is only partial part of what we have done in this free course. We have done a lot more detailed manner. And best part is you get 1 hour test to take. Okay, you can take a 1 hour test, which will be half of the actual GRE, and then you will get your current ability. That is, if you take GRE right now, what is your current possible score? You get 290, 295, 300, something like that. Plus, you'll also get a preparation plan, like how you should go about preparing from now. So this is where you stand. So you should do step by step in this particular manner, how much of an effort you need to take. So it helps you to prepare your own plan. So all of this is given in a free course. You can just go to a store and take it so that you can experience it. I'll tell you again, when even our students, before they take the course, we ask them to take this because we recommend a course suitable for you based on what's your ability, right? So if you are a student who is at a 300 level already and you should be looking at 320 with the preparation, we recommend them to take self-paced. Live classes will be boring for you. not just with us, anywhere you go, because people teach the same thing, same basic stuff again and again. Here you're at 300, your goal should be only to bridge those gaps where you lack, where our AI will help you to learn. Practice is what you need more to get to 320. If you're at a 280 to 290 level or 290 level, this is where your basics are not good. You should definitely get some support in getting your basics and then start doing it. If you are less than 280, I would say you have a long journey to undergo. You have to work on basics. So we are launching a bridge course for that reason, because we have seen a lot of students who are having issues with their basics. They even sit in the live classes and they struggle to pick up. So that's why we thought we should do a course which will help them to first cover basics for a few hours, then come and sit in the live classes. So something like that. But yeah, basically that's what we believe in. So you have to see where you stand and then understand what's your desired score and how much of a journey you have to undergo to achieve a score. So now the final one, the GRE demo. We have a demo class tomorrow for 1 hour to see how we take live classes. If you want, you can sit. I'll take a class. You can experience it. So that's one thing I want to say. You'll get the details for that if you're interested. So this part I've already talked. We're giving you 50% off on our courses. You can try a free trial. I don't want to stress on that. You'll get the link for that also to see what we offer. You can sit a free demo to see what we offer in our coaching if you're interested to take it. It's valid for 1 year. So I'll tell you, GRE you can prepare for 6 months, 9 months, and GRE is valid for 5 years. So the next question that I get to see from students is, when should I take GRE? What is the right time to apply, or what is the right time to take GRE? I'll tell you, the best time is to take it after end of second year or third year. Like after 3-2 is a good time, or 2-2, depending on how much of a plan you have. So I'll tell you, this is good time to spend because you have a lot of free time. In the final year, people will be busy with their placements, their projects, a lot of things happening. And if you want to go straight out of college, right, let's say you graduate in 2021, you will graduate in 2020, that is, let's say, in May. Ideally, you want to join in August, fall of 2021. For US, deadlines have already passed for good universities. Now, it's still running, but if you are looking at now, you are almost too late to apply for good universities. For UK, Australia, yes, they are opening now, you can go for it. So that way, you see this, people should be ready by 2020 November itself with the scores and their universities if you want to go for August 2021. That is the quality of a good student, right? That is almost a 12 months of upfront clarity. For that reason, so you should be taking your GRE in summer of 2020. So that's why I tell you 3-2 is the good time to take. At least before that also makes sense. I don't know why people keep it too delayed and sort of rush and don't give their best, right? So if you have a clarity on it, it's anyway valid for 5 years. So it makes a lot of sense to get your score done so that you can do the remaining things in quick periods. See, TOEFL IELTS can be done in 1-2 months, and its validity is only for 2 years, so it makes sense to keep it to the later part. But GRE, it's really a longer preparation time, harder to score well, very important, and you can do with 5 years. So that's why it makes a lot of sense to focus on you. Right, so that's it from my side. So I'll take up question and take Q&A. So some of you have posted questions, so I'll start answering them. If you have any questions, you can ask us. So our team will keep doing more sessions. We'll do a lot of more videos, free content as well. So do like and follow us. Do get more content. We have a lot of free stuff that will help you in the preparation, even if you're not taking any of our paid courses. So thanks a lot for the session. So let me get into Q&A. So verbal section, is there any possibility that students hailing from ICSI or IB posts are prone to score more marks than students from state boards? I won't agree with that. I mean, I don't have really big data to say, but it's all about your reading skill set. Okay, so if you are a person who has a habit of reading more and more, right? If you have been doing it more and more frequently, definitely you do have a good chance of scoring well. Okay, so what I was talking about. So again, I tell you, best thing is to judge yourself by taking this diagnostic. Okay, take this test. You will yourself understand what's your ability right now. So there's no need. No need to worry about whether you're from a state board, because I've seen a lot of people from state board background, but they got good language skills because they love to read books more and they have a good skill set. And there are people from IB and state board CBSE which do struggle. So, but relatively, I agree, the English, they're more used to read a better quality. That's why they have a better chance. It makes a logical argument, but everyone is different. According to you, based on planning, which country do you prefer? Planning, I don't really recommend to stop applying to some country just because it's pandemic right now. Right, pandemic is a short-term thing. I'm very positive about it. I'm very optimistic about it in a way. That's how I want to live life. So I think after a few months we get vaccine and all, very common thing in life, and people start living the normal way. So it's all about where do you want to settle down. You prefer USA, go for it. You prefer Canada, go for it. See, Canada has been very kind in the last few years because they want a lot of immigrants to come and work. So they have been kind in giving visa. USA has always been a bit difficult in the recent years, but again, it's a place for skilled people. Always people go there and settle down. Germany, language is a barrier, but it's a great country to settle down if you're not really worried about the language and culture a bit. And you get a job easily. Visa is not a big deal over there if you settle down with a job with German language. So everyone has a choice. So don't think over the pandemic as a reason to, UK due to Brexit is accepting more. In the next few years, UK will bombard or rather, go very aggressive in taking a lot of international students, giving visas, giving jobs and all. So that way they'll make the rules more favorable. But ultimately, jobs only come to the people who have skills. But visa wise, I think UK will be more free. So I think everyone has a reason to why they want to go to a particular country. So pandemic is not a reason to not apply for someone, apply for some. That's what I'll tell you. Don't be short-sighted. Be a little bit more open and apply wherever you really want to go. Right? If it is required, you can stop few months. If you feel like this country has not yet opened, maybe I'll wait. But don't change your country because the country is you want to go and do your masters and you do only once and maybe you want to settle down there. So don't change your country just because of short term thing that's happening. Uh, Harnath, we are doing it. So we are doing USA counseling. So we have been doing it for some of our students already. So yes, we are doing it. We've been doing it and we're doing it. Jan 2022, when should I start applying for US? Chandrasekhar, I'll tell you the best part to apply for Jan 2022 is be ready by summer of 2021. That is, be ready with the GRE and TOEFL or IELTS course by summer of May, June maybe last. Then start applying from June, July. Get to universities, shortlist and apply. See, application deadlines open even till October. November also there are universities. But let me put it simple word. Top universities always close early. I can also tell you the quality of universities can be decided based on how late they open their application. Sorry, how late they're closing their applications. Number two, universities give scholarships or financial aids to the students who apply earlier. So it makes a lot of sense for someone if you're serious in life that you apply as early as possible. So I would say for 2022, the best time is to be ready by summer of 2021. Uh, that is May 2021, so that you can apply in June, July. So sort of you get your process done by June, July, and you get your admits and all. See, deadlines, universities don't wait for deadline. Let's say deadline for university is September and you're applying in June, they'll give you admit in July or August only. Either you are selected, you are waitlisted, you are rejected. So if you're selected, you can start your process and complete it, right? Why should you waste? Uh, for masters, 12th, 10th and 12th important. See, they are not very important. DP, it's good to have a good scores, definitely consistently, but your undergrad is much more important than your 10th and 12th. But if you have good, it does help. If you have a bit of bad, it's a little bit of negative, but not really a drastic one. You don't have to bang your head because of something being good or bad in that. It's anyway past and can't change. Don't worry about that. Is GRE being taken online or offline? Nisag, it's computer-based test. GRE was earlier in a center-based, you have to go to center and take it. But due to COVID, they have let students start take from home also. Now you have both the options. You can book a slot, go to a center close by and take in the center, or you can take at the home. If you take at the center, it's a little bit more relaxed and easier because ambience is more clear. Plus, you don't have any issues on proctoring part. When it comes to home, they are being very careful because cheating can happen and they can warn you. They can even I've heard few cases where people have not done anything wrong, but still the exam was ended or they were said that you were doing something very what do you put it mischievous or maybe something very tricky hazy, so they are not comfortable and they've ended the test. So I don't know, few cases have happened. So that's why I would tell you if you're clear, it's better to go to center, but it's a computer-based test ultimately. Right? Any more questions you have before I end? Maybe I'll just take a couple more if you have questions before I end. No, no, you don't get to recheck. It's a score you get and you have to live with it. Right? If you're not satisfied, the only option is you reattempt it. They don't let you see what you have marked, what is the right answer, what is the wrong answer, and we cannot challenge them. There's nothing of that sort available in the GRE. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I hope we could live up to the expectation of what we promised that we'll help you with understanding this. So I think it was a useful session. If there's anything else you want to know, any specific concern you have, you can drop to our team, drop a mail to us, reach out to us. Our team will, answer with what we can help you with. Be it on university shortlisting or any, I think on GRE or IELTS or anything, right? And study abroad category. So thanks a lot and wish you all the best and goodbye.